Hello.
We haven't done this in
I
so
know.
long.
It feels like forever. It feels like forever. How long has it been? It's been
Let's see. I think we did
months?
these in May.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And we did them the whole month of May.
Mhm.
Now it's July.
Wow. Hey.
Time's flying. Hey, friends. Yeah, nobody's here yet, so I won't tell you to say hi. But when you watch the replay, definitely say hi. Tell us you were watching, and then we can give you some hello and some love and support you in whatever way you need. And if you ask questions on the replay, we can answer them next week because we're coming back next week and the week after.
Yes.
We're going to finish out July with these Feng Shui Fridays.
Denise.
Hello. Hey, beautiful.
Yay.
Send us a question if you have one. There's a couple of people here now. So sometimes Facebook shows you who they are and sometimes it doesn't. So that's okay. We figured that we would choose a topic. Denise is the queen of hearts.
She loves us a lot.
I know. We figured just in case none of you had questions, which we would rather answer your questions directly because that's always super fun when we can help someone work through something that's happening in their life like right now. But we figured if nobody was asking a question, is it a wave? Yeah. That we would talk about what to do when life starts to feel overwhelming, because we have noticed, both with our clients, with each other, with our social media worlds and friends, that there's a lot of overwhelm happening right now. And I know there's like an eclipse and Mercury retrograde's coming, and there's like all these other planets in retrograde, which I don't even understand.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I feel it.
But it doesn't really matter because what we're noticing is that a lot of people are feeling overwhelmed, or even like crazy stuff is happening. Like stuff that's not cool, but it's happening. And so what matters is that we can manage it. We can't control what's happening. We can't control the energy of the planets. If you believe that stuff affects you, you can't, none of it. But we can control what we do about it. And so we figured if no one asked questions, we would talk about some Feng Shui and just like mindset tools to manage overwhelm. And we got together this morning. We were both totally overwhelmed.
Yeah. Totally.
Completely overwhelmed. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I can't focus.
So it's normal. Like, we don't freak out when it happens because we know it's normal. It's not going to last forever. And we have tools to manage. Like, right before the call, Jen was like, let's go outside. Let's feel the sun. Let's sit down. Let's just like slow down in nature. So like, I'd say that's tool number one.
Yeah, it is for me. Absolutely. Like just going and putting my feet in the grass, getting the sun on my face, and just taking 5 minutes. That's all it takes. It's just 5 minutes to breathe it in, right? And just sit there for a sec. Yeah.
So if you're somewhere that you can put your feet in the grass, put your feet in the grass. If you're somewhere where you can just sit and be with a flower, and just appreciate its beauty and wonder and just like be in awe of the fact that we live in this world where a flower exists. Do that. Look up at the sky. Like, notice the trees and how different they looked a month ago and how different they'll look again in a month. Like, just slow down to the level that nature slows down, because nature doesn't get overwhelmed.
It's true.
We go out there in nature to learn. Right. Flowers don't get overwhelmed when they're about to bloom. They just bloom. Right. Like, and they bloom, I mean, certainly based on conditions, they bloom differently. Right. But they don't get overwhelmed. They don't get stressed out. They don't get freaked out. And so when we can put ourselves out in the fresh air, out in nature, we can, if we choose to, we can settle into that energy. Just be like, oh, I can learn from nature. I take my granddaughter outside. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's like number one baby trick.
Right.
In the middle of the night, you can do that. Like, you had a crying baby, go outside. Go outside.
I never did that.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Any weather, anything. Fussy baby, go outside. She loves it. And I bet you put her in the grass and she's like, oh, grounded. Right? I just got grounded. Yeah. Thank you.
Exactly.
Denise, I forget what she calls you. Does she call you? She doesn't call you grandma, does she? Can't remember. Anyway, I'm sure she so appreciates it. And kids respond super well. So like if your kids are crazy this time of year, because a lot of us are home with kids that we've had in school, get them outside. Like I've been going to the river a lot. We've been going to the river and just like chilling out. Just feel the water, play with the rocks, explore the nooks and crannies, be with nature. And that's been amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any other nature tips?
I was just going to say that we were talking about this briefly before we started, is that this time of year is kind of symbolic of frenzy mode anyways. If you think about nature and how, winter we're calm and we're quiet and we're contemplative, and then spring, everything's blooming and coming into being. And then in the summer, it's like, like peak crazy, like getting it all done, and the trees are blooming and the fruit is coming out, and that's like, then we head back into fall, which is the harvest. And right now, if we think about like all of the stuff that we're trying to manifest in this world, us in particular, and I'm sure if anybody's in like the business world, this feels like a really kind of frenzied time of year. And so because we're trying to manifest all these things and they come to fruition, in the harvest, in the fall. So this just feels like a kind of that everybody's feeling that manicness right now, and trying to focus in, I think, is the key, right? Is that there's so many options out there to choose from. And I think the key is just to zero in, which is what we did in our brainstorm this morning before we even started this, on where we're going to direct. And it feels so much better because we're focused now.
Yeah. Yeah. So that Jen has some feng shui tips too, which is why we're here, Feng Shui Friday. But Feng Shui Friday isn't just hey, Megan, isn't just about your stuff and your space. It's also about your mindset and your intention and your purpose. So that's why we always talk about, well, first of all, mindset work is like my, but she does have specific Feng Shui physical tips. But then just because you said that, another tip that I would have is to just literally get out a pen and paper and do a thought download. So what are all the thoughts I'm having? What are all the things I need to do? Just write them all down. Like, they can be thoughts like to-dos, have to get the car inspected, have to make the potato salad, have to whatever the things are. They can also be like, my kids are driving me crazy, or I hate being at work inside all day, or just like get all the thoughts out. And that alone is hugely gratifying. It's such a release. And then you can sort of organize, hey, Sarah, you can organize those thoughts in a way that makes some sense. Like, okay, I need to make the potato salad. When am I going to do that? I'm going to do that at 3 o'clock. Oh, okay, now that I know I'm going to do it at 3, I don't have to worry about it at 1.
Right.
But sometimes we forget, we get all wrapped up and we forget that we can sort of just lay it all out and plan it. Like, put it on Post-its if you have to. What are the 12 things I have to do this weekend? So I have to do 12 things this weekend. Let me organize them. But thought downloads are a super good way to manage the overwhelm. And for me, every time I do this, I'm like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah. Right.
It was much more scattered and crazy up here than it is on paper.
Right. I love lists that way.
Yeah.
Because then you lay it out and you're like, oh, I really don't have that much to do. It's just like totally spinning in my head. Yeah, exactly. And I can't zero in. So yeah. And I love the satisfaction of crossing it off of the list and feeling that accomplishment. Like, even if I have to do things to make myself feel accomplished, like just doing the dishes and I put it on my list.
Yeah. Does anyone else like do something, write it on the list and then cross it off?
Yeah, exactly. Just to write it on so you can cross it off. Right?
Took shower.
Check. Totally. So feng shui things that I have been noticing really are helpful. And with having the kids home, it can be, a bit difficult, but being fairly diligent about it and asking kids to honor these requests is pretty huge. And for me, it's just keeping surfaces cleared, right? Like keeping the primary surfaces. And what I mean by that is like your kitchen table, your island in your kitchen, your countertops, your dining room table, wherever the landing spots are. We have a mud room, but everybody walks right on through the mud room and they put their stuff on the ottoman in front of the couch. And it's because it's like a landing pad. And so I have been asking, them to honor that space and, because we have a mud room, like, can you put your stuff there? So, just keeping that clear. So like when I come home, I don't feel overwhelmed by the mess and the clutter. And I don't think kids really resonate exactly what it is that makes them feel more stressed or tension, right? Yeah. And so they don't associate the fact that the clutter is making them feel more stressed, but they definitely notice when things have been cleared out, right? They come home and they're like, wow, it feels good in here. I don't know what it is, but it feels good.
We just did a huge clean. My middle child is a train wreck of a cleaner. It's a disaster. So
she's not good at it.
Terrible. But we just did a super deep clean in her room last week, and she just kept hugging me and saying, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you." Aww. Like for 24 hours. And she's still like, a friend will come over. She's like, "Come look at my room." Aww. And so like it was so crazy in there that she did. Like if I said to her, like, if you clean it, you will feel better. She's, no, I won't. Yeah. But like as we were doing it, as we were throwing away like bags of old slime and
all the stuff,
whatever, she was like, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you." Because kids don't know. Yeah. Kids don't know how good it feels. My daughter wants to hang on to everything. I know.
Even scraps of paper. Yeah.
For that particular thing, it can be good to have like a bin, like a Tupperware bin. And maybe it slides somewhere, gets tucked away. And if it doesn't fit in the bin, like if the last scrap of paper doesn't fit in the bin, then it's like that's the rule or whatever. Once the bin is full, we have to go through the bin and get rid of some stuff. Right. But if you want to save everything, it has to go into the bin. I know with my, again, the middle, she does want to save a lot of stuff. And I'll say to her, like, if you want to save it, go find a place for it. And she's like, never mind, I don't want to save it.
Yeah, right, exactly. Everything in its place.
You have this like scarcity thing where you want to save it, but then if you really think about why you want to save it and where you're going to put it, you're like, never mind.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because it's just one more thing, right? And that's when it feels like not so good to keep it. Yeah, because it becomes a burden.
Yeah, that can help with kids who want to save everything. It's like have a drawer. If the drawer is full, we have to go through it. But if there's room in the drawer, go ahead. Save it.
Yep, exactly.
Save as much as you want in that drawer.
Yeah. My youngest is that way too. And he wants to save everything. Yeah. But he doesn't even know what he has. And so I don't do it often, but I will go into his room and like sort through things that I know he's definitely not going to miss, you know, and pull things out. And he will walk into the room and be like, "Wow, feels good in here." You know, I'm like, I was just straightening up. I wasn't getting rid of anything. So sometimes we have to be,
But yeah, clearing surfaces is such a big one.
It's a huge one. And, you know, if you're at work, clearing your desk and just straighten things up before, you know, you start your workday. And as you're leaving, you know, just making sure that like everything's straightened up and cleaned up. And so when you walk in the morning, there's a sense of relief that like, okay, I have a clean slate, right? You know, keeping the dishes cleared out of the sink. And if the kids are home all day and they're old enough, you know, you can definitely enlist them to do those sorts of things, right? I leave a note for my kids with like 2 or 3 things on it, right? And yeah, they gripe a little bit about it, but like they're home all day. So, you know, they're 14 and 11 and they are old enough to take on cleaning up the kitchen every single day. And it just makes life so much easier for everyone. And it makes them feel less overwhelmed and it makes us feel less overwhelmed. So that is just a simple way that you can just make yourself feel better. Another thing is the floor. Keeping the floor clean, you know, before you head out for the day, or just if you're home all day, just making the effort to have everybody tidy up, you know, take 10 minutes to tidy up and, whew, you know.
My kid trick, if I say, like, let's clean, they're like, no,
I don't know what that means. Yeah.
But for the floor, my kid trick is if I say I'm going to vacuum, then they're like, oh, we know what that means. We have to clean the floor so that she can vacuum.
Right. And so you don't
because you're going to lose your stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that
I have no mercy with the vacuum.
Yeah. And all the things we've probably sucked up, and that's where those earrings are.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good one, is to just say it's time to vacuum, and then they can just make that next leap. Like, oh, it's time to vacuum. You're going to do the vacuuming. It's not like you're saying you need to vacuum. It's like, I'm going to vacuum. Your job is to clean the floor, to get it ready. Right. And yeah, Megan, disorganization causes anxiety. And it can be annoying because, you know, if you're really feeling overwhelmed or anxious or stressed out and someone's like, well, clean, you're like, no, that's not going to solve my problem. That's going to make it worse. So there's this disconnect that's sort of like, no, I don't care what my house looks like. That's not the problem. I care that I get to my appointments on time. And you're like, well, actually, it's kind of connected.
Exactly.
I know for us, we have our favorite music festival of the year. The whole family goes for 3 days, and there's a lot of to-dos, like to get ready for that, because we're super like,
you're there.
We're like super prepared, fun festival packers. So we
need to create something like a family fun pack.
Lillian said that yesterday. She's like, Green River Fest needs to do a documentary on your family getting ready. But my point is related to the clutter, which is I was like getting overwhelmed by all the things to do for Green River Fest. And I was like, wait a second. If I clean the car, I like that surface will be ready for our adventure.
Wow. Yeah,
and so it took me 10 minutes. I literally took the trash out, put away some chairs we weren't using anymore. I even vacuumed, and I think it took 10 minutes, but I've been meaning to do that for weeks and weeks and weeks. But it immediately made me feel less overwhelmed about all the things that had to be done for the festival, because I was like, oh, we have a clean slate.
Right.
Exactly. So the car is another surface that can be super overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just cleared mine out too, and it just made a huge difference in my traveling from A to B. You know, it just made the experience like so much easier. So
Megan,
her 4-year-old swinging in the background.
Oh,
if you can hear that.
Nice. I'm so used to it, I don't even hear it. There he is. It is kind of loud, bud. Can you do that when we're done? We're almost done. Let yourself slow down. So, Megan, unpacking. Yeah, in terms of unpacking, because I know you've been there a little while, and I know you're super busy. Working mom, kiddo, but I would just take it one box at a time. And I know you're not specifically asking a question. Oh, I need that. I'm not sure what you need that for, but with unpacking, yeah, because that stuff does weigh on us too when we know we have all these boxes of stuff we have to sort through. Literally just take it, like if you can do, in my planner, I have a list, like cleaned a drawer, lit a candle, but like kind of make that list for your packing. Like, did I unpack something today? The swing. Yeah, it's hilarious. Did I unpack something today? Did I put away one book? Or like whatever it is. But just because when you look at the whole task, it's so super overwhelming. Right. And I know you know this, but if you can literally hold yourself accountable to doing one thing every day, in the end, it makes a huge difference. And I can probably guarantee that after a few days, you're going to be doing more than one thing because you're like, this feels good. I'm going to do the whole box.
Right. Exactly.
This feels good. I'm going to do the whole room.
You catch the fever.
But the other thing about unpacking is why am I not unpacking? Right? Like to ask yourself, do a little journal work around that. Like, why is this so hard for me? Because sometimes if you can identify why it's so overwhelming, why is it so hard, you can clear away some of the gunky energy around it, and you will come up with brilliant ideas all on your own that you don't need to get from us because you've gotten the mess, the gunk out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I know
that's such a great point.
Mr. Swing here. It's 4.
Mr. Swing.
And the WHINE is, it's just off the charts right now. And so this morning I decided that I was going to ask why, like why, and then just remind myself that it's developmentally appropriate. And when I realize that it's developmentally normal, doesn't mean it's awesome, but it means it's normal. And it means it will pass. And so if I ask the why, I get some clarity around the bigger picture. And that gives me the patience and space I need to manage it. So it's similar to that. Like if something's really overwhelming you, just do a little journaling around why.
Why, right, exactly. Yeah, I love that. I love that the work that you do, Amanda, is absolutely just game changing. 4. I remember that age.
It's funny, when he turned 4, I was like, oh yeah, 4, I remember. Right. And then I think 4.5 we're hitting.
Right. Another milestone. Yeah,
but thank you for that. I did hear you. Yeah. I did receive that compliment.
But it is, you don't think about like, the fact that this just feels overwhelming, and that basically what her point is that we're making it feel overwhelming because we're not figuring out what the feelings are behind it, right? Like what the thought is that's creating the feelings of overwhelm, right? So yeah, I know a big pile of boxes is overwhelming, but I love that fact that you brought up, like, why are there still boxes? Is there an emotional thing that's happening, a resistance that's happening to fully moving into fully, feeling grounded in the space, just all of the things that go with it. And so I think that that's just a great way you don't think about unpacking and looking at all the boxes as like, an
emotional task,
right? An emotional task. Yeah, exactly. And so starting with the emotions is just huge and clarifying. And then once you move through that, you can all of a sudden have room to open the boxes, right? Yeah. So I love that.
Those of you who know me know my hair is up 90% of the time. When my hair is down, Isaac is very interested in it. You like when my hair is down?
Trying to get rid of it. It's not working.
Does anyone, I don't know if that's you still watching, Megan, but if you have other questions, go ahead and share them. Something came up when you were talking that I'm trying to remember. I don't know why I can't remember what it was.
It's strange. I don't know
So
why you're
weird.
so distracted.
Now you've crossed the line. Yeah. So please, if you're watching the replay and have questions about overwhelm or something specific that's overwhelming you, maybe it's your job, maybe it's your health, maybe it's parenting. We don't have all the answers. You might not even have the right answer for you, but we have a lot of answers. And you can take whatever works and leave what doesn't. So please ask, because we're happy to share that.
Right.
Megan, good. I'm glad you love that because it is so powerful to journal what's going on behind stuff. And yeah, like parenting's been very overwhelming for me lately, and I have to just be a little easy on myself, like go easy on myself too, because I can quickly jump to the oh my gosh, I'm a bad MOM, and then that doesn't serve anything. Or I can go, why is it so overwhelming to me? Oh, because a month ago I had kids in school 4 days a week. Like I had 30 hours of alone time, and now I don't. And so that just relieves some of the pressure. Like it makes me feel like less of a BADMOM.
I hope everybody can spell. I'm like,
That's a rewind. Rewind the replay to get all the spelling. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap unless people have other stuff they want us to tap into this time. Or if you have anything else you want to share.
Yeah.
We so we've been having an amazing time with our connected growth coaching clients.
So
The breakthroughs they're having are just everything
Remarkable.
we dreamed they would be. And because we're so excited about what's happening with the combination of our work, we put together another little mini program called Believe Again Breakthroughs, and we'll be sort of launching those out into the world soon. So stay tuned and watch for those, because
which have had amazing results as well. I'm just blown away by it. So good.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So we're really, really gonna keep on this track of managing the outer space and the inner space, because when we can do that, everything changes and it sticks.
It does.
Because I know with Feng Shui, I would do things and then I'd be like, wait, I just did that. Why do I have to do that again? Which we do. But we always have to keep going. But the thing is, like, I want to do it again. I know how to do it again. It's clear. It's like I'm just able to absorb all the Feng Shui stuff more when I have the mindset work to go with it. And I think the same is applying for our clients. They're able to do the Feng Shui, and have it stick and just really work better. Inside out, outside in. It's been so powerful. So check out the Believe Again breakthroughs as you see them coming through. And if you sign up for a Believe Again breakthrough coaching session for me, I will make sure I have childcare because your time is important. And Isaac can be doing something fun with a sister or a babysitter or a grandma. All right, that's a wrap.
Nice.
Bye, everybody. We'll be here for 2 more Fridays. So if you have, bye, dudes. So if you have questions you want us to answer next week, please either show up and ask or ask them ahead of time and we'll answer. Bye.